Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you're in check systems, okay, and you have a high credit score and you have a high DTI, okay, so let me explain about high credit score so you understand. If you have at least a 640 or higher, okay, and you have a high DTI, then you may want to look at BHG, okay? Business Health Group Financial. Now, the reason why, and I think this here loan is actually better than Navy Federal. And the reason why I think it's better than Navy Federal, because it gives you up to 120 months to pay off a loan, okay? That's 10 years they give you to pay off a loan. Not only that, they do not report the loan on your personal credit. That's right. They will not report the loan on the personal credit. And you can actually qualify for this loan with a soft pull. Okay. Now, here's why I think this is better than Navy Federal, because with Navy Federal, not only do you have to join, but you have to have multiple accounts in order to increase your internal score in order to qualify for a loan most times. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. Even if you have a 800 credit score with Navy Federal, if you have a high DTI, if your DTI is over 55%, they more likely won't give you a personal loan. All right. Now, the cool part about BHG, their loans go anywhere from $20,000 up to $250,000. That's right. So a lot of professionals like dentists and doctors and stuff go for this loan. However, the regular community can go for this type of loan. Now, I would tell you that average credit profile is usually about a 720, 730 credit file, and they have a high income. Okay, so if you have a high income, they usually now this is average, but this isn't written in stone. Okay, what I mean is that your income, all right, being, I would be safe to say, I would go with at least 85,000 or more. Now, like I said, the minimum criteria is very easy because they do a soft pull on the credit. But like I said, you're in check systems, they still will approve you. So check system does not stop them from approving you. All right. Now, here's something else I would tell you. They do the soft pull. Okay. So on the soft pull, they're going to be looking at the Experian. Okay. And so since they're looking at Experian, this is what I would do. If you want a higher chance of approval, then I would go over to Experian. I would get a free account with Experian, and I would go down to the help section. Then I would go over to dispute. And then after I click on the dispute, what you want to do, you want to click on other. The reason that I'm telling you this, because of this here code, it's USC 1681E, okay? And that code is to dispute all inaccuracies on the credit file, okay? This is what I would do if I wanted a higher chance of approval for this loan. Like I said, although you only need a 640 credit score, if you want a higher approval, then I would do that. Now, here's another thing that I want you to understand. If BHG does not approve you, then what I would do is not a hard pull. The thing I do like about it, because I just stated that the loan will not show up on the personal credit. All right. So that means that your DTI is not going to go up. So that's the reason why I like it. Where your Navy Federal, if you get approved for that loan, it's going to show up on the personal credit, which brings down your DTI, right? Your debt to income ratio. Now, going back to what I was saying, if I was not approved, okay, what I would do, I would go to Universal Credit, Okay. Now, granted, universal credit, they only go up to 50,000. But here's the best part about it. Universal credit, they will accept lower than a 640 credit score. The minimum credit score they will accept is a 580. Now, here's the thing about it. Again, income matters. So with universal credit, I would tell you, you probably want to go in with at least $45,000 or more annual income. Okay. Now, there's something else you need to know about this. With universal credit, what it is that you have to have a credit file at least 2 years old. All right. Now, if your credit file isn't 2 years old, then let me tell you how to age your credit file. All right. To help you. All right. One, you can add authorized users. Okay. So choosing the right authorized users will allow you to age your credit file. It would help reduce your debt to income ratio. Okay. So that's the reason why I always tell you, you have to make sure you're using the right type of authorized users, especially like when these third party fintech type of companies that are offering you loans and stuff like that, they will accept authorized users. All right. So you don't have to worry about not having primaries on the file. So just having authorized users and making the file 2 years old. That's the reason also I stated before that also adding rental payments, that also helps with aging of your credit file. All right. Now, there's another lender. All right. Now, you all heard me talk about, I made a video, but I'll probably make an updated video. Best egg. Okay. Now, if you have collateral, like a car, this is something that's real. If you have certain home fixtures and stuff like that, Best Egg would take that as collateral, like bathroom sinks and stuff. I never heard of this. That's the reason I have to make an updated video, because it's not just having a vehicle, but however, they will give you a loan, okay, if you have collateral, all right? So that's the interesting thing about it, because with Best Egg, they go up to 50,000 as well, okay? Now, again, they're more or less, if you have a high DTI, but you have consistent income, they would definitely work with you as well. Okay, so you have 3 different lenders, but BHG would probably be my more favorable one. And the reason is, again, because that loan will not show up on the personal credit, and it doesn't reduce your, and it doesn't increase your debt to income ratio. Plus, it gives you out to 10 years. All right. So that's the reason why. And now here's a hack for you. Okay. Let's just say BHG gave you 50,000. What you want to do, all right? On 10 years, 50,000 on 10 years, you're probably going to pay about $850 a month. Now, they do also charge an origination fee, okay? So just keep that in mind. They tack that origination fee onto the loan. But let's just say your monthly payment is $850. Then what I would do, I would take out at least 12 months of payment and put that into a separate checking account and put that on automatic pay. So you're looking at what, about almost $9,000 out of that 50. So that $9,000 is going to make your payments, okay, for a whole year. Now you have this other, just said 40,000. There's other 40,000 over here that you can do with your other investments and stuff. That way you're not worrying about missing a payment over here. Okay, so that gives you the leverage. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.